Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, with more models over 40 mpg than any other manufacturer. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new food truck series, featuring 3 new food truck-inspired sandwiches, only at Jack in the Box.
All right, back here in the desert, the Giants have taken the field, so let's take a quick look at the Cubs lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The lineup will go like this. It'll be Zobrist, Bryant, and then Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo will hit third. Contreras, the cleanup hitter, followed by Russell, Hayward, and Javier Baez. Albert Almora Jr., he'll hit 8th and play in center field. And Jose Quintana is going to hit 9th and do the pitching.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the right-hander Chris Stratton. Stratton, 27 years of age, just a little less than a year of big league experience. 6'2", 210-pounder, and he's had a good spring. 0-1, about a 3.86 ERA, and 16 and third innings, allowed just 15 hits. He struck out 18 against 4 walks. When he is right, you're going to see a fastball that goes low 90. He'll 2 and 4 seam that fastball with very good command to both sides of the plate. His command is really one of his stronger assets. He also has a slider, a changeup, and a great curveball. Probably the best curveball in camp from a right-hander.
So here we go. The Cubs have won 16 games during the Cactus League. First pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's tapped to Crawford, and Crawford to Sandoval, who digs it out. And that's how this game gets started.
Let's take a look at that Giants defensively. Starting in their outfield from left to right, it's going to be Pence, Jackson, and McCutchen. Crawford, Longoria will be on the left side of the infield. Panic and Sandoval on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Chris Bryant. Sean Ryan is the home plate umpire, and he calls a strike. It's Bryant in the second spot, hitting at 367 with a home run. He's got 3 runs batted in. That's that good curveball that Stratton has. It's one of the best curveballs in baseball.
Well, he's got a lot of things going for that curveball. Number one, a high 3/4 release. He's way up top. So when that curveball breaks, it's got downward snap to it.
Anthony's.
But in the age of sabermetrics, spin rate becomes a it's a topical subject. I mean, everybody's talking about spin rate, not just on curveballs, but sinkers. Well, he's got the best spin rate on a curveball in the game.
Well, there it is right there. And Bryant is gone. And here's Rizzo.
I asked him about him. I said, you know, are you having a problem with the curveball here in Arizona? I mean, it's not a great place to throw breaking balls. He goes, no, you just make adjustments, you shorten up, you get on top. Kind of makes you, it forces you into good mechanics. That was a really interesting comment. That's from you would expect to hear that from a guy 34, not 27.
Right. Here's Rizzo. Rizzo this spring is at 324. 2 home runs, 8 driven in. You see most really good hitters are going to be hitting over 300 here in the Cactus League.
Now, one thing about Rizzo, I mean, he's a big guy and he gets right on top of the plate. Rizzo 6'3", 240. He is daring you to come inside to him.
I always felt guys that stood on the plate didn't look away.
I agree.
It's like, if I'm going to stand on the plate, and I'm going to look in.
Yeah, how about Barry Bonds? You could put him in that club.
Hit well into left center field. Hunter Pence on the move, and it is off the top of the wall, and Rizzo will have a double. I think he looked like he was sitting on a curveball.
You know, I was going to say the same thing. He took the 2-0 fastball, and here comes a breaking ball and a 2-1 count. And that back leg is completely timed to it. An opposite field gapper and almost knocks it out of here. He was looking for that breaking ball. And he did not miss by knocking it out of here by very much.
So here's Wilson Contreras, the catcher. He's got 4 home runs this spring. And he takes a ball low and away, 1 ball and no strikes.
It's a live ballpark. It's a great place to hit. It's not as live at night. And normally the carry in this ballpark is to right field.
Buster Posey with a block, gets 2 balls and no strikes. So Stratton out of the stretch for the first time. He's going to take a little walk, rub up the baseball, and think about this 2-0 pitch to Contreras. He does have a base open.
Got to really force yourself if you're pitching to Contreras, especially in 2-0 counts, to keep that ball down. He's looking for a mistake up.
Right on the inside corner, 2 balls and a strike.
I mean, Contreras is a guy who he's going to take advantage of a 2-0 count. He takes a fastball on the inside part of the plate. He's telling you he's looking middle away.
Three and 1.
Posey wanted that same pitch that he saw on the 2-0 count. When Stratton gets his rhythm going, and it's early in the game, but he's a guy that can go inside, outside on the corner with his fastball as good as anybody in this Giants staff.
He's got Addison Russell on deck. Just underway here in Scottsdale. Popped out of play on a challenge. It's 3-2.
And the other thing too about Stratton, he's not afraid to come at you with a fastball. We saw it 2-0, we saw it 3-1, and he's also not afraid to throw any of his pitches in a 3-2 count.
So this will be pitch number 15 here in the top of the first inning. Sold out crowd here in Scottsdale. Here's the payoff and the walk.
So there was the breaking ball. It winds up being a good at bat from Contreras. Look on Contreras as he will go out of the strike zone, especially down the dirt. There, showing good patience.
So here's Addison Russell, who's having a good spring. You see the high average, 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. And a base hit on a breaking ball. Jackson gets to it quickly. Here comes Contreras, and the throw home is cut off, and it's 1-0 Chicago.
Well, it's starting to be a pretty good theme in the first 5 hitters of this game. A lot of Cubs sitting on breaking balls. Get it in curveball. You will elevate on that first pitch to get ahead. And that is when you are vulnerable. As soon as you elevate, you're counting on a guy looking for a fastball and just taking that flop curveball. But Russell looking for it.
So here's Hayward. Hayward at 216. He's got a home run. He's got 4 runs batted in. And this gets away from Buster Posey, and it's 2-0. So that'll be a wild pitch.
Buster Posey's not going to be happy with this ball getting by him. Not with a runner at third. Just kind of short hops a backhand. That glove is really not in great position to block that ball and keep it in front of you. You reach across your body like a shortstop, you can get that effect. Ball hit the side of the glove, bounce away.
Well, it's hard when you have shortstop in your blood.
Well, he was a shortstop.
On the ground and panic. and Panik, and that'll end the inning. So nice play by Joe Panik. So Panik diving to his right.
Great spear. Count on great hands to get you out of a big inning.
Giants are coming up. Bruce Bochy's lineup and is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Austin Jackson in the leadoff spot, followed by Panik, McCutchen, and then Buster Posey. Evan Longoria will hit fifth, and it's Pence, Crawford, and the Panda. And then Chris Stratton, of course, will hit ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Chicago Cubs will be the left-handed veteran Jose Quintana. Quintana, a 6-year vet. He's 29 years of age. That's what he has done down here in spring. He's been fantastic. Just 9 base runners allowed, 9 1/3 with 9 strikeouts. Fastball, well, you'll see him attack the inside part of the plate consistently. Got a good changeup, kind of a slurvy breaking ball to go with it. But he likes that inside corner.
So here's Jackson. Jackson will take down and in, hitting at .333. He's got 4 runs batted in. And inevitably he'll be the leadoff hitter a week from today in Los Angeles. Swing. Ain't gonna miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, he got the pitch he was looking for. 1-0 count, fastball away. That kind of unnerve you when you swing through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a bit away. Joe Panik on deck, and then McCutchen. Giants are 12 and 14 in the Cactus League. They have 1 more game left here in the desert. That's tomorrow. Sacramento on Saturday, and then 3 straight games against the A's. Weather is great in the Bay Area right now, but it's a little sketchy for Saturday and Sunday, especially on Saturday night when the Giants are going to be playing in Sacramento. Skied into center field for Almora. And Jackson's retired.
Let's take a look at that Cubs defense, starting in their outfield from left to right. It'll be Zobrist, Almora, and Hayward. That's your outfield. Russell and Bryant on the left side. Baez and Rizzo on the right side. Wilson Contreras. He'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Panik at 300 with a couple of home runs. He's got 6 runs batted in. And he takes a bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Giants, if you're keeping score at home, have 2 ties. The Cubs have 3 ties. This is hit on the ground to Baez, and Baez will make the play.
Good play by Baez. Let's take a look at the good play by Joe Panik that ended things for the Cubs. 1 hop spear, and you better get up and get rid of that ball quickly because of Hayward's speed. Even a ball hit as sharply as this. I mean, when do you feel like you're really ready defensively to go north?
Yeah, but as soon as you get off of these infields here in the desert, then you're ready.
Nice play.
Here's McCutchen. First pitch is a bit high. McCutchen does have a home run. He's got 7 driven in. With Buster Posey on deck. Right down Broadway, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bruce Bochy talked earlier in camp about how McCutchen, Posey, and Longoria, you could interchange all 3 of them in the 3, 4, and 5 spots. There's a swing. Ain't gonna miss. He said it probably wouldn't matter, where they hit. A little grimace by McCutchen.
That's the grimace of respect on a good changeup.
There's that inside target that you were talking about from Contreras, and that's where Quintana likes to go at you, especially if you're a right-handed hitter.
Quintana likely to be the 4th starter in the 5-man rotation of the Cubs.
Nope, off the plate, 3-2. Two nothing Chicago. Cubs scored both of their runs after 2 outs. Giants are going to try to do the same thing here with the 3-2 pitch to McCutchen. And the walk. It's pretty good at bat.
Well, you're down on a 1-2 count, and you've got 2 swing throughs. I mean, you're thinking, well, okay, and you work a walk. It's a great at bat.
You see the lofty numbers for Buster. 545. He's 12 for 22. On the ground on the first pitch, and that'll end the inning. Buster really going after the first pitch a lot during the spring. After 1, 2-0 Chicago.
Sale and get up to 50% off and huge doorbuster deals starting now.
2-0 Chicago. As Javier Baez is going to hit. It'll be Baez, Almora, and Quintana facing Chris Stratton. And the Giants right-hander throws, and there's a swing. Baez always takes a healthy rip. He's got 4 runs batted in and hitting at .320.
He flails.
He does. On the ground to Longoria. 1 out. Hey, Amy G is here, and we're so happy about that. Amy.
I know. I'm happy too, Dwayne. And I'm really happy to talk to Brandon Belt, always. And let's just start with how well the spring training has been going for you guys offensively. 12 current players on the roster are hitting 300 or higher. You're one of them. What kind of confidence boost does that give you guys going into the regular season?
You know, it's definitely a confidence booster. I mean, those spring training and the regular season are definitely 2 different animals. And you're going to be facing big league guys all the time during the regular season, obviously. But, you know, just to kind of get in our comfort zone and get the rhythm and timing and to go out there and see the ball drop in for base hits definitely does help, you know, kind of boost your confidence a little bit going into the regular season.
Opening day 1 week away. At this point in spring training, guys are ready to roll. But this has been a long wait for you after last year's concussion. How anxious are you to get going?
Super anxious, and you know, it was kind of that way all off season. You know, an extra 2 months of off season, so I was just ready to get out here, ready to get on the field, ready to see some balls come at me, ready to step up to the plate and see the pitcher throw a ball. You know, and once I was able to kind of check off all those boxes, I kind of just felt normal again, and you know, was ready to get back out there and just play some baseball.
We were all happy to hear you say that you were feeling good. Bruce Bochy talking about a box he wants to check off tomorrow. He's going to put you in left field, Buster at first base to get you guys some playing time. He said it just gives him some depth, some options. How do you feel about that switch, and are you ready to go anytime we need you to go out there?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel great about it. You know, obviously I love playing first base. I spend a lot of time working over there. But I feel completely comfortable out in left field. You know, it's a little bit different playing left field in San Francisco just because that wind kind of grabs it sometimes. But I feel confident, you know, that I can go out there and catch some fly balls for sure.
Okay, so really quickly, guys, when I interviewed Brandon earlier in February, you had a huge beard, which I would refer to as Grizzly Adams. Maybe Wolverine makes more sense to your generation. But you have some news. You're going to become a daddy. So you had to shave the beard, huh?
Yeah, I got rid of it. It was kind of getting on my nerves, a little bit too high maintenance. Didn't want to fix it every morning, but yeah, I felt like I needed to look more professional since I'm going to have 2 kids now. So I think I want it back, though. I want the beard back. I shaved it. I need it back.
All right, it's coming back. And a baby's coming in July for the Belts. We're going to go to break and come back with more spring training baseball with your SF Giants.
Of the San Francisco Giants may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
2-0 Cubs. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. A reminder, the Giants will take on the Dodgers for the first weekend of the 60th anniversary home schedule. Starts off with a bang with fireworks night on Friday, April 6th, presented by Altec Lansing. And on Saturday the 7th, the first 35,000 fans receive a 60th anniversary Willie Mays bobblehead presented by AT&T. And Sunday, the first 20,000 fans receive a Giants-Dodgers rivalry pin presented by Bank of America. You need tickets, go to sfgiants.com.
Here's Longoria, who takes a pitch down and in, hitting at .364 with a home run. He's got 4 driven in. With Hunter Pence on deck. Jose Quintana. And this is off the foot of Longoria. He does have the ankle guard on that left ankle. And as we've noticed from time to time, it just totally misses the ankle guard.
Well, I think it missed it that time. At which point you're thinking, why am I wearing this thing?
Yeah, really. It definitely means that there's a bruise somewhere on that ankle.
Let's take a look and see exactly.
Oh, missed it completely.
Got him in the calf. That's a good thing. A new bruise. You don't want to dig into an old bruise. With the way that Quintana likes that inside corner and the inside-out approach of Longoria, I mean, this you would think would be a pretty good match for Longoria. Watch Longoria take his batting practice. Boy, he really works the right side of the field.
Yeah, he swings a lot like Buster Posey does going to right.
Very similar.
Very high into shallow center field. Well, stream the Giants on the go. Great news, Giants fans. Once again this season, you'll be able to stream every NBC Sports Bay Area Giants broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. Giants games streamed on the go on the NBC Sports app. Here's Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence, 268, a couple of home runs, 8 driven in. Remember, he started out the spring 1 for 19. And most of those bats came as this is cued. And Pence is going to beat it out. I don't know if Quintana got a late jump, but Hunter Pence can be the king of the infield hit, and he's got another one.
Well, I had some funkiness on it. Rizzo really had to back up to kind of time the spin to make the grab. But Quintana, left-hander, who falls off towards the third base side, just a little slow getting unwound and getting over. And for Hunter Pence, who's only got 1 gear, and that's 5th speed, beats it out. Don't be blowing your ankle out now.
Yeah, exactly. McDonald's true stories. On this date last year, Team USA defeated Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic championship game by a score of 8-0. Brandon Crawford recorded a 2-run single in the top of the 7th. And for the tournament, Crawford was 10 for 26, a triple and 3 doubles, and played flawless, if not terrific, defense. And the first pitch just misses 1-0. 241 with 5 runs batted in for Crawford this spring. Really did play defense for the first couple of weeks. Bruce Bochy with that slow play with a lot of the veterans. And that hits the corner. One ball and 1 strike.
With Crawford, the concern is the arm. I mean, his arm is strong, but he likes to have a lot of controlled throws when he first gets down to spring training. He doesn't want to have to deal with off-balance throws from different angles, which shortstops, and any infielder for that matter, will make on a routine basis. He just want to get controlled throws and get that strength up.
Struck well to center field. Almora on the move. Still on the move. Now he's got room, and on the track he makes the catch. Pence will hustle back. 2 outs.
4:30 to straightaway center field here at Scottsdale Stadium. And there really isn't a whole lot of wind right now. We haven't seen the flags be as quiet as they are tonight all spring long. So you're not getting a whole lot of help from Mother Nature. But there's the 4:30. And there's the flags blowing straight down.
Here's Sandoval. Sandoval hitting right-handed. Of all the hitters in this line, in these lineups for both teams, Sandoval's got the most RBIs. He's got 14 this spring.
Well, he came down here with a good swing.
From both sides.
From both sides. And then that's the emphasis. From both sides. He's really looked like a different guy from the right side than we saw at any time last year. And the reason for it is he has good health in both shoulders. He's not swinging around any pain. He's strong.
Sandoval takes a look at Ron Wotus. We're in the second inning. 2-0 Cubs.
Quintana has a good move. You have to be aware of it. He just picked me off.
Yeah, that's all right. Doesn't count. Out of play into the parking lot. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Great crowd tonight. I guess you would expect that. Giants fans travel very well, and they didn't have to travel. And Cubs fans travel extremely well, and they always have. Even when the Cubs weren't winning, they would travel well. Shallow center field. Now they're obnoxious and they travel well. 2-0 Chicago.
Moskowitz LLP. Aggressive, accessible, experienced tax attorneys. Call Moskowitz LLP at 888-TAX-DEAL.
Here at Scottsdale Stadium, it's a 2-0 lead for the Chicago Cubs. And it'll be Zobrist to lead things off. Zobrist rolled out to Crawford to open up the ball game. And here he rolls one to Sandoval, who's going to grab it and go to the bag, and Zobrist is retired.
2 at-bats, 2 pitches. Hey, Xfinity X1 customers will say, show me the San Francisco Giants. They say it into their X1 voice remote, and they get live stats on their TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1.
Here's Bryant. Bryant struck out on a curveball in the first inning. Here he takes a fastball for a called strike.
Yeah, brought his glove. His son brought his glove. He's a catcher. They're ready.
And that's hit off the end of the bat foul. It's 0-2. They're ready.
The whole family's here tonight. Daughter's got her pink Giants jersey on. Oh yeah, that's the smile you want on the old man. That is true bliss. He's a happy camper. Got his family, a ball game, front row, glove. Serious business.
I've been talking about this game for months. One and two to Chris Bryant with Anthony Rizzo on deck. And tight, 2-2.
Straight changeup. First one he's throwing. This time he faced Bryant. He struck him out on a curveball. Good one. Mr. Posey mixing it up. You won't see Stratton shake Posey off. Very seldom will it happen.
Got him again with another curveball. And here's Rizzo.
I talked with Chris Stratton before the game. He says, listen, he goes, would you do me a favor? Would you say hello to my father-in-law, Ed, and my father, Lee? I said, sure. Anybody else? He goes, well, yeah, you better just say hello to the whole, yeah, everybody.
The gang.
So everybody that Chris Stratton has ever met and all the relatives in Tupelo, Mississippi, he says to say hello, especially Ed and Lee.
Hunter Pence has got to come a long way, but it's actually Crawford who goes out and he makes the catch in a nice inning for Chris Stratton. 2-0 Chicago.
Our play is brought to you by your Northern California Ford dealers. August 1st of last year, Fenway Park, and Austin Jackson takes away a home run from Hanley Ramirez. And he said the thing he's most proud of is that he landed on his feet. That is our smart play, brought to you by your Northern California Ford dealers. Welcome to San Francisco, Austin Jackson.
That was a nice play. Showed his basketball skills, of which he was very, very good at. Coming out of high school, as here's Stratton, who takes the strike at the knees. Stratton and then Jackson and then Panic. 1 ball and 1 strike. We mentioned the last game in the Cactus League is tomorrow. Breaking ball misses.
I think he may have crossed up Wilson Contreras there. Pretty good breaking ball. I mean, there's a late break to it, but to me, like Contreras was looking for something else. It's rare you cross somebody up with nobody on base, especially in spring training.
With the pitcher hitting. There's a strike. Tomorrow Bumgarner will pitch. Mike and John will do that game on KNTV. 1 o'clock. To pitch to Stratton. 3-2.
Hey, Stratton is not a great hitter. He gets to a 3-2 count, gets 6 pitches at least out of an opposing hitter or opposing pitcher. That's a great at bat.
And he got him.
Semi-great at bat. Now there's the look at the Austin Jackson catch last year in Fenway Park, and look at that. I mean, perpendicular to the ground. Looks like he's planted his head in the sand. He hooks the arm around the fence, he swings his feet over, and lo and behold, he lands on his feet. Remarkable athleticism.
That's a great play. Here's Jackson, who got a fly ball to center field.
It was great. We had the NBC Sports Bay Area banquet last weekend, or a couple weekends ago, and he was one of the speakers. He was fantastic, and he talked about that play.
Pitch in the dirt. It's 0-2.
And he was very honest when asked, did you watch that play a lot? He goes, oh, yeah, I watched it like 40 times the first night. That was fun.
I think they're burning fajitas at the Charo Lodge. What do you think?
They're pretty good out there.
We cannot talk food in the third inning. Foul, and it stays at 0-2.
One more look. And he said the thing I'm most proud of is that I landed on my feet. Swings around. And were you sore the next day? No, I was good to go. I mean, you never know when this game's going to smile on you, and he'll take that play with him the rest of his life.
Oh, absolutely.
Arguably the best defensive play in the outfield the entire year, 2017.
And a base hit for Jackson.
Nice at bat, fighting out of an 0-2 hole.
Here's Panik.
You know, this is about the time of spring where you start to see guys have better balance through breaking balls and off-speed pitches. Watch the weight. I mean, that's really a great distribution from the back leg all the way through the contact point. There's no drift out on his front foot at all. They weren't doing that the first week and a half.
Here's Joe Panik. Strike at the knees. Panik rolled out to the second baseman Baez. By the way, Austin Jackson played a full year with the Cubs in 2016.
Well, that was a good year to play for the Cubs.
I think it was. Actually, that's not true. He played with the Cubs in parts of 2015. He was with the other Chicago team in 2016. There are two teams in Chicago, which I just found out, obviously.
Yeah.
1 ball and 1 strike to Panik.
They do try to ignore one another. Two-team towns are different. They absolutely are different than cities that have just one team. You're always aware what the other team is doing. Always.
Now, you don't see too many hats that have the split hat.
The SF and the A's.
You don't see too many of the Chicago fans with those hats.
Never. I've never seen the split hat there.
On the ground towards the hole. Russell on the backhand. That's one. And the relay is late in the dirt. April 4th is Kutch 22 t-shirt day. It's a 4:15 start time. And those Kutch t-shirts will go to the first 20,000 fans. Take advantage of the special Kutch 22 ticket. 2 tickets for $22. sfgiants.com/Kutch22.
A nice way to welcome Andrew McCutchen to San Francisco. Get everybody wearing his shirt.
So here's Kutch 22. Drew a walk in the first. One ball and 1 strike. Buster Posey's on deck. This is the third night game in a row.
This is the most night games I've ever seen in spring
We
training.
would go through spring training without having any night games.
Well, old Scottsdale Stadium didn't have lights.
Well, that was a problem. There's a base hit to right field. So here's Buster.
Nice opposite field approach there for.
So you think that was the reason?
Well, it's all by design.
Well, it's better for TV, obviously.
That's how you beat a fastball with cut. If you're hitting from the right side and the guy throwing it from the left side, you think right field. It's one of those boxes you want to check off if you're a hitter. Being able to have an at bat where you think opposite field and execute.
Buster Posey saw one pitch and rolled out to short in the second inning. On a plate on the right field line, it snowballs in one strike.
He is not waiting around.
He is not. It's, and I don't know, and you know, we'll probably ask him if this is a spring training approach or if this is an all-season approach.
Yeah, he mixes things up. I know one thing about him, he's always got a plan. One of the prettiest right-handed swings in the game. I mean, it's going to be fun watching Longoria, McCutchen, Posey, because they all employ the inside-out swing, and they're all very good hitting the inside pitch.
Driven to right. Hayward back. It is out of here. Well, one swing of the bat. Buster Posey gives the Giants the lead.
With a guy throwing cut from the left side, thinking opposite field is exactly what he went up there to do. Ball drifted out on the outside corner. Didn't try to pull it. Went with the location and just popped it out of here. Beautiful.
Here is Longoria.
You always look at what a veteran offense will do their second time facing a guy in a game. All right, first at bats, reconnaissance, that's your knowledge. Now you come in and you apply it. You have an idea. You have a plan.
At the knees.
Good changeup.
Longoria got a piece, but not much of it.
It's a constant dialogue going up and down that dugout. Hitters talking about what they saw in their at bat. Guys are talking about what they saw openly. Discuss a plan. I mean, they had a plan coming into the game, but it all changes when you see it. When you're actually seeing what he's getting over the plate, what he has command of, what his stuff's doing. And then when you get the pitch you're looking for, you want to take advantage of it.
In the dirt.
Good pitch, good take.
So it goes to 3-2.
He saved that big curveball for that two-strike opportunity. He knew he had a chance to go out of the strike zone, hoping that Longoria would chase.
Tapped. Foul.
Good pitch. It's one of those locations you're happy to fight off to live to see another pitch.
And the walk.
Good at bat. What's the other box you like to check off if you're a hitter? Knowledge of the strike zone.
Hunter Pence hit a ball off the end of the bat to Rizzo, and Hunter Pence beat Quintana to the bag. This will be pitch number 56, and it's tapped to Bryant, and that'll end the inning. So one swing of the bat, and Buster Posey goes opposite field. It's bye-bye baby, and it's 3-2. Giants will be back. It's 3-2 Giants as we head to the fourth. Wilson Contreras. It'll be Contreras, Russell, and then Hayward. And another curveball, and Contreras hammers it down the left field line, and he has got a double. And let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, this is going to take some getting used to say Bam Bam the bench coach. It's a new role for you this year, and I do want to get to that. But first I want to get to the news of the day, and that was the announcement that Jeff Samardzija is dealing with a shoulder injury. He's undergoing an MRI. We're awaiting results. But can you talk about, Bruce Bochy saying, you know, we have some internal options. That's a big deal because that means you guys have depth, and that's something that you guys needed to fix in the offseason.
Yeah, right. So we brought guys in like Derek Holland and even Derek Rodriguez that pitched a great game last night to give us that depth in case something happens to our main guys. And, you know, you always end up using one or two of those guys to fill in. You know, last year we had people filling in for Baum and for Cueto. So you always bring people in just in case. And in this case, if Jeff is going to be down for a while, then we have, you know, options that we can fill. You know, you're never going to fill in for him all the way through because he threw 20 innings for us last year, punched out a bunch of guys, didn't walk anybody. So it's hard to replace, but, you know, you have a serviceable guy that can do the job.
Okay, so let's talk about your new role. Now, the last time I asked Bam Bam about this was before spring training, of which you run now. This is your gig, and I know you were able to lean on Ron Wotus a little bit, who had it for so many years. But it looked very orderly down there in the clubhouse, lots of lists, and everybody had their time and knew where to go. How has it been for you in your first spring training of which you're in charge?
It's been good, you know, but it's a lot of coordinating, like you said, but I'm happy Wotus is still here. You know, he just handed me down all he did in the last 18 years or so I didn't change anything, just the names and the times. That's about it.
Yeah, you had a template, a good template. All right, let's talk about some of the competitions that we're seeing down the stretch here. You have 1 week until opening day, and you've got some battling going on for outfield positions and infield positions. What can you say about what you're looking for in these final 7 days?
Well, for me, as the bench coach, I'm also in charge of the outfielders. So we just saw nice plays there by Jackson. You know, you had guys coming in like Blanco and Hernandez and competing for backup spots. You know, Duggar is here doing a good job this spring. And then you have the main guys, Pence, McCutcheon, and Jackson, who made that nice plays just now. So those guys are pretty much set. You know, we just got to make sure that now if you're taking 13 pitchers or 12 pitchers, you know, to make sure we take the right guy as the backup in the outfield. And also in the infield, you know, we had guys like Andres Blanco, who has a lot of time in the big leagues, Josh Rutledge, time. Also Tomlinson, who we know here, has done a great job battling for that backup spot in the infield. Pablo Sandoval has had a great spring. So, you know, we have options, and hopefully, you know, these last 3-4 days that we have time to pick these guys that they keep continuing to make it hard on us, so we pick the right guys.
They are making it hard, which is a good problem to have. Now, just because you're the bench coach doesn't mean we can't ask you about offense, right?
Right. Well, we have two great guys, in Alonso and Rick Shu. They've done a great job with the hitting, and these guys are hitting the ball hard this spring.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to segue into, was just how many of your guys on the current roster hitting over 300, a lot of pop this spring, and how you use that to, as a trajectory into the regular season.
Well, it's still spring training. It's still high altitude here, so the ball is going to carry more. We don't really emphasize much on that. Once the game season starts, we know it's a different ball game. The brighter lights go on. But you still want to see them perform the way they've been performing, busting that line drive 3-run homer just now. It's great to see guys locking it in right now as we're going into the last phase of spring training. Last game tomorrow here, then we have 4 games in the Bay Area, and then it's play ball on Thursday next week.
And you mentioned Alonso Powell. Will you just share your history with him? You guys are very good friends, and you had something to say about him coming here.
Right. So Zoe has been a great friend for over 30 years in baseball. We played together in independent ball in Newark in 2001, and August was on that team as well. We had a great time. We played against each other the 3 years I played in Japan. He won 3 batting titles in a row, so he knows hitting. He was on the championship team last year with the Astros, where I guess they score almost 900 runs. So that's a good guy to bring in when he's trying to score more runs. So our relationship goes way back. We know he battled cancer here recently, and we hope he's fine and he can get out there and do his job. And when the front office asked for help to replace my position, his name came up right away, and also Chili Davis on the other side of the field today came up as an ex-Giant, but he ended up taking the position with the Cubs, and we ended up hiring Zoe for my replacement. So I'm totally happy.
Well, I mean, Zoe, Bam Bam, and Augie, 3 great nicknames and a great trio. It's a lot of fun. Good luck to you this season, gentlemen. Let's get it back up to you.
All right, nice job by Bam Bam. Baez, no balls in 1 strike.
Amy G, mid-season form.
Nothing in 2.
I'll tell you that. You talk about a guy swinging out of his shoes. This is Baez. I mean, he just lets it go. I mean, there's a lot of old ball players watching him swing like that because scratching their head, and the pitchers shaking their head. But as long as we've seen this kid at the big league level, that's how he goes about it. He didn't want to hit the ball over the wall by 10 feet. He wants to hit it over the wall by 200 feet.
Well, just don't make him comfortable, that's all. And that'll end the inning. 2 swings and misses and a take, and the Giants lead 3-2. AF High School Basketball Championships. There's 12 games on Friday and Saturday, and here's what NBC Sports Bay Area, NBC Sports California, and Bay Area. The tournament is to determine the best high school basketball teams in the state. So this is what you got. Circle 1, Circle 2, Circle 3, the schools that you may be associated with. And check it out. 2018 CIF High School Basketball Championship. (3-2) Giants on the Buster Posey home run. And here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford, Sandoval, Stratton.
Talk about Stratton a little bit about that last inning.
Man, there's a strike at the knees.
Not every inning is equal in the eyes of a pitching coach or a manager. And when you have a 3-2 game and your team just gave you a 1-run lead, you go out in the next inning, give up a leadoff double, and then you don't allow that guy to score, and you wind up striking out the guy for the third out. That's a good inning.
Yep. No swing. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yep, Bruce Bochy's going to like that.
Tap foul. 1 and 2. Hey, it's great to look to our right, and John Miller and Dave Fleming are here.
Yeah, one of the few times that all 4 of us have been down here.
It's great to have the whole gang in town. Crawford gets jammed and pops it out of play. There they are.
There's the boys.
What do you think John's doing right now?
He is on Instagram right now.
He's on Instagram right now.
By the way, if you have not plugged into John Miller's Instagram account, you need to get on it. It's one of the really true joys about Giants baseball. He works hard at it, loves it.
And Crawford is out.
Well, the kids are taking over. You can join us on Wednesday, April 4th for a kids opening day, special 4:15 start time. And Lucille will be the pregame meter and greeter. Post-game opportunity for kids to run the bases on the field. Go to sfgiants.com for tickets. Dad, happiest guy in the ballpark.
Oh, yeah. And they're showing the highlights when they were on TV. Pitches in tight to Sandoval. 1 ball and no strikes.
Oh, yeah. She's been chewing on that ear the whole game.
Sandoval takes a strike.
It's really great to see how a little girl will manipulate her father. And she's got it going, and he is loving every minute of it.
And I can tell you firsthand that it happens until they get married. Right to the wedding.
No. Give her time. They're newlyweds.
When your daughter gets married, do you hand the debt to her husband?
No. You simply hand him her hand and walk out the back door of the church and sign the check.
Oh, money well spent.
It's a great tradition.
Yeah, it won't be long. He'll be writing a check. Here's Stratton.
Well, I hope we could have a wedding like the one you put on for your daughter's.
It was great.
Her husband Zach.
It was good until the single button on my tuxedo popped off and almost killed somebody when it shot across the room.
That's what cummerbunds are for, man. Come on.
Never take a deep breath if you're the bride's father. You never know what might happen.
And don't have a second piece of cake either.
It's 2-2 to Stratton. It was great as we found a safety pin, and that was fine. It all worked out. And as we were walking out the door at around 11:30, somebody handed me the button. They picked it up off the floor. It was a weapon there for about 5 seconds.
They wanted the ballistic information.
Brought to you by Skills. Go to skills.com on your phone. Download and win now.
Here it's 3-2 Giants as we head to the 5th inning already. Stratton gave up 2 runs in the first inning after 2 outs, but it's been pretty good after that. He's going to go after Elmora, Quintana, and Zobrist.
Well, we talk about Stratton and what his strengths are as a pitcher, and it's command. It's fastball command to the corners. It's command of that curveball, being able to throw it in fastball counts. You say that about his changeup and his slider as well. And oftentimes it takes you a few pitches to get into that rhythm. And there is a vulnerability in the first inning with Stratton, like a lot of good pitchers. But once he finds the rhythm, and all of a sudden the pace of the game quickens up a bit.
Almora struck out in the second. On the ground, the Gold Glover. 1-out.
Boy, you watch Longoria. I mean, he is just soft-handed.
No, he's Matt Williams.
It is uncanny as to how much Longoria reminds us of Matt Williams. Just not a problem. That was a bullet on a short hop. All routine.
Here's Quintana, who takes a strike. Zobrist to follow. Swing. Ain't gonna miss. Nothing in 2. And he got him. 6 strikeouts. Here's Zobrist.
I think Quintana's up there looking for a breaking ball in 0-2 count. That ball was in his glove before he fired the trigger.
That's a guy that spent a lot of time in the American League. And he did. Zobrist looks at a strike. Couple of ground balls. One to Crawford and one to Sandoval.
This is one of the keys for the Cubs. I mean, last year he really struggled at the plate, hit .232, and he has not had a good spring. They need to get Zobrist going.
Yeah, he was deadly against the Giants in that postseason in 2016. Seemed like every time you didn't want Zobrist coming up, he was coming up. Three and 1.
Big hit after big hit.
He's not missing by much, but that's the second walk issue.
Well, you mentioned Sean Ryan's behind the plate. We don't know much about Sean Ryan, and one thing we have found out tonight is he's not a high ball guy. He's done a nice job.
Well, Bryant has not been able to figure out Stratton.
Yeah, but power hitters, they can ruin your day with one swing. You strike them out 3 times and make them look like they've never played the game before. Then all of a sudden, that 4th time up.
Side retired on 1 pitch. All right, for the Giants, they got the top of the order coming up. It's 3-2 San Francisco.
Lenardi's Markets. For a location near you, visit Lenardi's.com or find us on Facebook. Lenardi's, quite simply the best.
Giants with a 3-2 lead. And here's the top of the order. Jackson facing Quintana. Jackson with a line drive single up the middle in the 3rd. Down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. We mentioned that Jackson was on that 2016 White Sox team. Well, so is Quintana. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they do know each other. Also means that Jackson watched a lot of Quintana from center field. But when it comes down to the competition between hitters and pitchers that are teammates, it's hard to even figure who's got the advantage.
I didn't like pitching against former teammates, especially guys I liked, because it was hard to pitch inside. Guys I didn't like, I didn't care. I hit them. The guys who I hung out with and had to pitch against, that was tough.
Kind of explains why I got brushed off the plate a lot when you faced me.
Only in spring training.
Because we didn't really know each other. High and foul on the right field line and out of play. There's a lucky fan.
Commando, no glove. Didn't spill a drop.
Joe Panik on deck, and then McCutchen. Driven to left. Zobrist on the move, and he's going to run it down. So Jackson hits it hard, but he's got nothing, and here's Panik.
Good at bat. He got a good feel in his hands.
Ryan Court is replaced Bryant, so Court's now at third. Shouldn't see too many changes. This is the time of the spring when guys start to go the distance. Panik takes a strike. So Panik go for 2.
Both pitchers have really shown a nice command of their stuff tonight. Made a lot of good corner location pitches with their fastball.
Nope, just off the plate. Beautiful night. It's been really kind of an odd spring. It was very cool the first couple of weeks of spring training.
Today's the first day it hit 90.
Yeah. Base hit for Panik. Hayward, the Gold Glover, will track it down, hold Panik to a single, and here's McCutchen.
Lots of weather on the West Coast, and eventually it's going to find its way down here. There was a threat of rain, a 20% chance tonight, a 10% chance tomorrow, but it is supposed to cool off a little bit this week. Giants, one more day. They leave Arizona tomorrow, and they head north.
McCutchen single to right field in the third. I think he pulls off this uni better than anybody.
Yeah,
including the shoes.
I think it's impossible for him to screw up a uniform. He walked by today. I said, "You know, you look pretty good in that unit." But I said, "You look pretty good in the other one too." He said, "Yes, I did."
And a base hit to right center field. Hayward's going to cut it off. His throw will be cut off. And McCutchen's 2 for 2.
Another opposite field at bat. Right now it's time for our big play, brought to you by your Northern California Mini Dealers. Buster Posey came up in the third inning with a couple on, 2 outs, and gets a fastball away. Looking to go to right field, the hole at bat, and he pulls it off. For Buster Posey, hits a second home run of spring, a 3-run shot. That's our mini big play, brought to you by Northern California Mini Dealers.
He rolled out in the first inning, then hit the home run in the third. down the middle for a strike. Buster takes that pitch. He was looking for something else.
And he'll have a plan even with 2 strikes. I mean, this guy guesses more with 2 strikes than most of the other Giants players.
On the ground to Russell. And that'll be a double play. So Quintana gets out of it with the double play through 5. 3-2 Giants.
He is the recipient of the 2018 Barney Nugent Award. It's given in recognition of the player in his first big league camp, whose performance and dedication in spring training best exemplifies the San Francisco Giants spirit. It's a very coveted award, and with me now is Chris Shaw. This worked out so well, and it's what makes it extra special, Chris, is it's actually voted on by players, coaches, and trainers. So you're kind of popular.
Yeah, I can't, say how thankful I am to have, the group of guys that are in this clubhouse, kind of, being the leaders that they are and just making a guy like me feel as comfortable as I was coming in for my first time.
And you were given the news that you were reassigned earlier this week, but you came back here to receive congratulations from these guys. How was that?
It was really cool. I got the call to come in early. Wasn't really sure what was going on, and came in, and the guys were just so great. Congratulated me, and it's just such a good feeling to be able to see how good the guys are.
Will you talk a little bit about getting the news that you've been reassigned? You've been a name that fans have heard about for a few years now. The expectations are starting to build, I'm sure, for you too. How do you balance that excitement and anxiousness of wanting to get here, but needing to go through the right channels and getting all of the baseball you need to get under your belt before you're ready to be here?
Right. I think it's a situation where coming into camp, I had an idea that, this was going to be something where it was going to be a learning experience for me, getting acclimated to the kind of lifestyle that, being in the big leagues every day is like. So to come in, work with all the guys, get through a routine, and then, ultimately get to the last cuts and, be able to go back to Sacramento with the idea that, I'm go down, work, and, get my at-bats in and have an opportunity to be up, hopefully at some point. I couldn't ask for more.
You have a big fan in Will Clark. You said he was a mentor to you. But on top of that, you're around Willie Mays, William Covey, walking legends in and out of that clubhouse. Barry Bonds was here. What is that like to be around that kind of baseball knowledge and skill?
It's such an invaluable resource to be able to have, some of the best players to ever play in Major League Baseball in your corner, and just sharing that wealth of knowledge that they have for the game. Will in particular, he's kind of been a mentor since I got drafted. I actually met him before the draft when we were playing at LSU. I had a teammate who knew him pretty well, so he came to Baton Rouge, and I didn't know at the time I was going to be drafted by the Giants, but even then he was just so amazing. And he's one of those guys that every time I see him, it's like, it's the greatest thing.
I always tell him he's contagious. His personality is contagious, infectious, in a good way. All right, so let's chat a little bit about your transition, because when I first met you, you were a first baseman, and now you're an outfielder. You made some physical changes to your body. You lost weight. You can tell me those secrets off camera, because I'm always looking for a good diet plan. What has this transition been like for you?
It's been great. Coming into the season this year, my big goal was to get better defensively, and to do that, I felt like losing, a couple extra pounds would, pay dividends in the outfield and just, overall energy and how I would feel. And, the past month, it's just been great as far as how good I feel out there, and it's, something that I had to do. You're at the point in your career where, you're looking to make that next step, and I felt like that was, a big part of how I would do that and how I'd take it.
All right, well, Chris Shaw, the 2018 Barney Nugent Award recipient. I think there's a lot of good things to come from this fella. Gentlemen, let's get it up to you.
All right, there's a C&I ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Peter Borges, who came in to run for Rizzo, is going to end up at third. So it may have been that Stratton thought, hey, you know what, I got a double play ball. Nope.
Well, they're playing Contreras to pole, so Brandon Crawford, the Giant shortstop, about 4 steps towards the pole, the 5.5 hole between short and third. So you just can't get away from it. Still, and that's a pitch that Stratton wanted to make. I mean, that's right where he wanted to throw it. It gives you an idea how strong Contreras is to be able to muscle that thing through the infield.
So here's Addison Russell. And a strike.
Good
Russell,
location.
1 for 2. Out of play on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
When Addison Russell got traded over to the Cubs, I thought this is a match made in heaven. I went into the media guide and I checked to see if Addison's middle name was Clark. Wrigley Field. I mean, they're at Clark and Addison. I mean,
Right.
that's the address.
Sure.
I'm thinking, here's a kid, Addison Clark. But it's Addison Wayne Russell.
Got him. Also with a bluff. Big strikeout.
A 3-pitch see ya with a runner at third, nobody out. Strikeout number 7 for Stratton, and that was impressive because that's what he was pitching for.
Here's Hayward. He's bounced out and he's got a pop up into center field. And he hits this one off his foot. And it's 0-1.
Hayward, and he's really had to work to redefine himself since he's come over to Chicago, and by that I mean he's had to change a few things in his swing because he hasn't put up the numbers that they expected he was going to put up.
And it's wide. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This will be his 3rd year with the Cubs. His first year in 2016, he hit 230. Then last year he upped it to 259 after the change. He got a little more loft, a little more launch angle. But he's still not happy with 259.
1-2.
Right above the hands. And that is where you pitch a guy that's tall. And Russell is that, 6'5", 240. You go right above the hands. And that has been a target that pitchers have taken advantage of Hayward for a while. One thing about Hayward, even though he has not put the offensive numbers up that he wishes he could, you never see it when he puts the glove on and plays defense.
And there's a pop-up out of play.
One of the best defensive outfielders in the game in both leagues. And I think that's saying something about a player. Best year offensively, 2012 with the Braves. He had 27 homers, 82 RBIs. But he has not come close to those numbers since.
Hunter Pence, he'll have a head of steam as he comes in. He'll make the catch. Here's the throw home. It's offline. And coming in to score is Borges. And this game is tied.
Gives you an idea of the speed of Peter Borges. I mean, he might be going just a handful of guys in the Cactus League. They're going to score. And I think, quite honestly, Hunter Pence may have been a bit surprised.
Yeah.
The depth on this, his momentum coming into the play. But Borges at his speed just says, hey, with 2 outs, I'm going for it. It's good hustle.
So here's Baez.
That's a kind of a play that if it happens during the regular season, Jason Hayward's going to buy Peter Borges dinner because he just got him an RBI.
Baez is 0 for 2. And the first pitch is high.
Pitch count. Very good for Stratton. right above the hands. Stratton is one of those guys that you say, well, okay, I'm going to go up and in. I mean, he's going to get it there. I mean, he's a dart thrower with the 93, 91 mile an hour fastball. Occasionally he'll hit mid 90s, 94, 95. But it's what he can do with it and how he can locate it.
Crawford. Side retired. Cubs tie it up. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It's 3-3.
Evergood Sausage Company. We make the sausages you crave.
It's a 3-3 ball game as we go to the Giants' half of the 6th inning. Here's Evan Longoria, followed by Pence and then Crawford, and a strike down the outside corner. We have multiple changes for the Cubs, and when we decide we want to give those to you, we will.
Well, I say, you're holding back.
And a base hit to left field. Borges will track it down, and that's a leadoff single for Longoria. All right, here's your changes. You just saw Borges. Freeman is now at short. Machine is now at second. And Zobrist is at first. So Tomlinson is going to pinch run. So Tomlinson is at first base. Here's Hunter Pence, 1 for 2.
Don't
No,
get picked off.
don't do that.
Don't come into a game as a pinch runner and get picked off.
Do not do that.
Because you cannot come back to your dugout. You have to find another place to sit.
There's a strike. This will be pitch number 85 for Quintana. Instead, he got him. I think Zobrist tagged Tomlinson on the helmet, so he did not listen to Mike's advice.
Well, that's not the look you want from your manager, but it does give you an idea of how good the move of Quintana is. That's a good pickoff. I mean, he had a full lean going on to second base, and then there's a swipe to the helmet you're talking about.
I don't have any problem with a guy getting picked off if he's going, but if he's not going and you get picked off, then I got a problem with that. And I don't think Kelby Tomlinson was going.
I mean, he was just taking a secondary lead.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a friend.
Amy G. Go right down to Amy G.
I would go right down to Amy G. Give you a hug and pat you on the back. Tell you it's going to be okay.
Foul back and out of play. And Pence waves at a pitch. And he'll be thrown out.
Fourth strikeout on the night for Quintana.
Here's Crawford. Swing. And a miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Well, here's where Kelby Tomlinson had to pass by Bruce Bochy, and Bruce Bochy making a statement. I mean, it is a buzzkill when you have a leadoff base hit, nobody out, tie ball game, 6th inning.
Here's the mistake. Don't walk to that end of the dugout.
I was really just
stay at that end where Amy G is.
Yeah, that is not a veteran move, cruising over, unless the manager calls you over, which then you have, which they would never do.
Strike 3 call, and that'll end the inning. Through 6, 3-3.
Throughout the Bay Area are invited to attend your favorite college night at AT&T Park. Each package will include a game ticket and a co-branded beanie in your school colors. Stanford and Cal Nights presented by AT&T and SF State USF Nights are all scheduled in April. Go to sfgiants.com. Check it out.
Almora rolls it foul, a 3-3 game, 7th inning. Tomlinson and Rutledge now on the left side of the diamond. So Longoria, Crawford out, and that'll be a base hit. So tough luck for Stratton. Ball gets kicked around a little bit, but it's a base hit for Almora.
Well, it's an Arizona infield base hit. It is hard dirt down here in the infields, pretty much throughout the entire Cactus League. When you make a play like this, you get a ground ball. Tomlinson was playing in respect of a possible bunt. That's going to be it. They're not going to let Stratton get back in the stretch.
Osich has been in the bullpen. So we're going to step aside as the skipper comes out. He'll get Stratton. It's a 3-3 ball game, and we'll be back.
Area is brought to you by Toyota. With more models over 40 mpg than any other manufacturer. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
All right, 3-3 ball game. Osich on the hill. Hundley now catching. Facing Navarro, who came in as a pinch hitter for Quintana.
Josh Osich has really been a great story down here in the Cactus League.
And now a big jump, and they got it picked off. Sandoval's got to hurry. Makes a perfect throw, and they got him. I'm not so sure if he doesn't make a perfect throw that Almora is going to beat the throw to second.
Well, he was going, and that's the point you make. You don't mind if a guy gets picked off when he's trying to steal, and there's the perfect throw you're talking about. And Josh Rutledge winds up getting kicked in the face. He makes a nice play. How about this? Rutledge comes in for defense, and right away he gets tested, and there he is getting kicked in the face. But the perfect throw made the whole play.
And Kelby Tomlinson feeling a lot better.
Yeah, it's human nature. It's a wonderful thing.
There's Specs. So we mentioned Hundley, Rutledge, and Tomlinson. Those are your new defensive players. And that pitch is a bit high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Let's take a look at how good he's been in 8 games this year in this spring. 9-1 with the innings pitched. 12 strikeouts against 1 walk. Just 7 guys have gotten on base. Why is that significant? Because last year it was always a concern as to what type of command he was going to bring into to a game. Comes into this camp, he went back to his motion that he used his rookie year and he has really flourished. And they need this guy because he's got great stuff. He's got strikeout stuff that he can get righties and lefties out with, and he can get a ground ball. I mean, mid to high 90s with velocity.
2-2.
He can throw 4 pitches over. And really has been one of the guys that everybody has talked about. And oh yeah, he's got a good pickoff move.
Oh, indeed he does. Out of play.
Ooh. Efren Navarro just missed it.
Both cheeks.
He had both cheeks into that one, and he just missed it. There's a face that hitters have that they make when they just miss a pitch, and it's universal.
Hundley cannot hang on.
Watch the swing and then watch his face. It's like, ooh, I just missed it. Good swing. That's the face. Woohoo. Yeah, he just missed it.
Got him.
And I'll tell you another thing. Pitchers can see that face. So you can highly motivate a pitcher when you drop that face on a pitch you just missed. And slider for Mosic. See ya. Grab some pine, meat.
There's Obrist. Outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Check swing. No. So they have a high school kid now umpiring over at first. He's in my homeroom, I think.
He doesn't come close to filling up the collar. He had to put a dickie on just so he could fill out the collar.
2 wallets.
Come on, an umpire's supposed to have a boiler.
Boiler, shave.
About 3 chins.
Yeah, look mad. You see Bruce Bochy arguing with that guy? There's a pitch down low. You know what? I'm thinking that that's Roberto Ortiz. And if he's here, he's earned his stripes.
Yes, he has. Not just players that have to earn their stripes to get here. Umpires pay an incredible price to get here. They've earned it.
Hanneman is pinch running. And this is Court, Ryan Court, who came in after Brian had 3 at bats.
Hey, Kobe, last call.
He's had a good camp.
Osich up high. Oh, and ball and no strikes. Borges is on deck. Three game. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Nope. There's that pitch that Mike was talking about that Sean Ryan's not going to give you.
There's been no help at the belt. So with Ryan Court in the driver's seat in a 2-0 count, this is a chance for him to let out some shaft.
Let
He
her
had
rip.
10 home runs last year in Pawtucket.
So Osich is now behind 3-0. A 2-out walk to Zobrist. And now a 3-0 pitch to Court. Right there at the knees. 3-1.
Just a nice get it in 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And the walk. So here's Borges.
As we mentioned all spring long, he had 12 strikeouts against 1 walk, and now he's got 2 tonight. And they've come with 2 outs.
So here's Borges, who is really known for just having great speed. First pitch strike, and it's 0-1.
Borges was one of those guys that was kind of out there in limbo as a free agent. And he's the kind of guy that can really help you out a lot of ways, especially with defense. I mean, he can go get him in the outfield.
Well, he pinch ran for Rizzo, and really, because of that, the Cubs scored the tying run on a pop-up down the left field line, and Borges scored from third.
Yeah, I'm glad to see some of these guys are finally getting some jobs, getting into camp. Strangest spring training we've ever seen. Strangest off season we've ever seen.
And that'll end the inning. For the Giants, bottom of the 7th coming up, 3-3.
By your local Toyota dealer through 6.5 complete innings. No, 6.5 innings. Hey, it's spring training. It's all tied up, 3 apiece. Both starters going to 6 solid. Jose Quintana struck out 5. Chris Stratton struck out 7 in his 6 innings. The big blow for the Giants came off the bat of Buster Posey with a 3-run shot in the 3rd inning, his 2nd of spring. And we're all knotted up as we go to the bottom half of the 7th. 3-3, and that's our Toyota game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. How'd I do?
You know what? I wasn't paying attention.
That's good.
Because we have like 5 more new people coming in. Pedro Strop is the pitcher. Sandoval is the hitter. Caratini is the catcher. There you see Strop. Hanneman is the left fielder. Pop-up might be playable. And it is playable, and a nice play by Court.
That was not an easy play.
It was not. Here's Humley.
Did Borges go to center field?
Borges went to center field.
All right, I'm with you now.
Hanneman, as I mentioned, in left. Caratini catching. Navarro at first base.
Nick Hundley's had a great spring with the bat. A lot of hits to the opposite side of the field, to right field.
Pitch is high.
Pedro Strop a hard thrower, but he gives you the illusion that he's throwing harder than perhaps the velocity of the pitch, the actual velocity. Because you're looking at elbows and kneecaps flying at you. Not a comfortable at bat, especially if you're hitting from the right side.
Good curveball, 2-2. Austin Jackson is on deck. It's a 3-3 game here in the 7th.
Good pitch. Yep, he's got the look of a reliever.
And Hundley takes a call third. Warriors Hawks tomorrow at 7:30. Hour-long pregame show at 6:30 on NBC Sports Bay Area. Also streaming live on the NBC Sports app. Hawks. Warriors trying to get healthy. Health. It's the key to success.
Boy,
Health.
Is it ever. Keep your great players out there healthy. You got a chance.
0-1 to Jackson. Jackson, little bloop to right. Hayward's coming in, and he'll make the sliding catch, and that'll end the inning. Through 7, it remains 3-3. 13 hits in the game. Yeah, before the ball game, kind of a kick in the shins as we found out that Jeff Samardzija was headed for an MRI on his right shoulder. And I guess not just us, but everybody in the Giants family will find out tomorrow how the results were on this MRI. And well, keeping our fingers crossed that it's nothing more than a shoulder strain, maybe.
Well, that is the hope, that it is just a shoulder strain, and that a few days off, it basically repairs itself. So bottom line is he's probably not going to start the regular season on the active list and fill his spot in the third spot of the rotation. He's going to be on the DL for the first time in his career.
Yeah. And I mean, we should note that there are a number of off days in the first month of the season, and you can pick up a couple of those spots in his rotation if you choose just to skip him. That's really the history of the Giants is they don't like to do that. Here's Melanson as he's in the pitch.
Well, good numbers. It says he's been in 3 games. He's actually been in more. He's had a couple of B game type of appearances, but he's been very good in 3 innings. Just 1 hit allowed, no walks, a couple strikeouts.
Caratini is the hitter. Swinging a foul off the screen down the left field line. Defensively, Hernandez is in left, Duggar in center. Caratini, New Lumber.
New Lumber. That's a great sound if you're a pitcher.
There's Duggar.
For Melanson, between now and the start of the season, he will throw on consecutive days. Really the final thing that you want your closer to be able to check off the box. We were talking about health earlier. I mean, this is a guy who went through some health problems last year, had an off-season surgery. He's back here in camp, throwing the ball well again.
Gets jammed, and Pablo Sandoval gets a big hop. 1 out.
Yep, the media guides came out. He's got one. We got ours today. Pretty exciting day, actually.
Remember Steve Martin?
Yeah.
On the Jerk when he couldn't wait for the phone book to come
Yeah.
out. That's the way John Miller is with the media guides.
He loves his media guide, and he could quote chapter and verse from that media guide. Every year you get a new one. That's all I need.
Here's Freeman. Swing and a miss. Very underrated movie, by the way.
Yeah, not in our house.
I think my favorite line in that movie is cans. He hates those cans.
Yeah, I just think about that movie, start laughing.
Swing and a miss, nothing in 2. On deck is Hayward.
I mean, those are things you do in the off day. You're on the road, maybe it's raining, get the guys together and watch a movie. We had one year we watched Scarface, and the deal was you had to have a sip every time there was a cuss word. That was not a good idea. We lasted about 20 minutes.
Especially not a good idea during a rain delay.
Well, not a rain delay. They're talking about an off day when it was raining outside. Couldn't play golf or couldn't go anywhere. So you have to be careful of the game you play.
Another little jam shot, and Panic will flip it to Sandoval. Giants baseball from spring training is always live with MLB at Bat. The app will help you connect every day with live radio calls, video highlights, stats, breaking news, and more. You can download MLB at Bat. You can do it right now. It's your #1 Giants app.
A lot of good altitude out there in the berms beyond the left field wall. Expect nothing less. Meanwhile, Dad, he is the man.
And a called strike.
When Melanson's going good, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of ground balls, and they're not going to be hit hard. You know, jam guys with that breaking ball and a cutter combination.
Hayward 0 for 2. And a pop-up. It's either Tomlinson or Rutledge. It's Tomlinson who makes the catch, and a nice outing for Melanson. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 3-3 ball game.
On the Chicago Cubs, we're knotted up at 3-all going into the bottom of the 8th. There are only a few games remaining in spring training. We're going to show you what they are so you can catch your Giants at all times. Tomorrow, Friday, March 23rd, we're on at 1 o'clock on KNTV. Giants versus the A's as they head back to the Bay Sunday, March 25th, 1 o'clock on NBC Sports California. Giants versus the A's on March 26th, 7 p.m. NBC Sports Bay Area. And again on Tuesday, March 27th, the Giants and the A's. It's that Bay Bridge Series, 6 o'clock on the 27th on NBC Sports Bay Area Plus. We hope that you can tune in for all the action. Dwayne and Mike.
And the pitch to Panic from Anthony Bass is a called strike.
Anthony Bass, the new pitcher. If you might remember him as a starter with the Padres back in 2011 and 12. And he's got the stuff you would normally associate with a starting pitcher. 2 types of fastball, curveball, slider, changeup.
0-2.
95-mile-an-hour two-seamer. Take a look at what he has done this spring. He's had a good camp.
In the dirt, Bijan Rademacher is in right field. Here's Bijan. Panic, a little cue job and a base hit. So Panic with his second hit. And here's McCutchen.
That was a thing. All right. I'm not sure how much of the bat that this ball hit, but it was just enough to get over the head of Ryan Court. So a leadoff single. I mean, it just did get over the web.
McCutcheon has 2 singles and a walk, so he's been on base 3 times. And that pitch runs inside. 1 ball and no strikes. And a called strike.
Bass, a strike thrower, and you know you're going to get strikes. You're going to get something around the plate. Kind of a prerequisite to be at this level.
Out of play.
Especially if you're coming out of the bullpen.
One ball and 2 strikes. One and 2. And a little low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's the one that's so hard to lay off of early in camp. It's the 1-2 changeup. I think that's the pitch that is the hardest to identify, and it takes the hitter the longest to feel comfortable with it. That was a good take in a 1-2 count. Yeah, that was a good pitch.
Got him.
Backed it up and came back door with a little 2-seamer. Perfect location.
There's Gregor Blanco.
Gave up on it. Nice little frame job there. Victor Caratini, the catcher for the Cubs. McCutcheon, he's making a point. Not going to argue it now. If that happens in the regular season, he may have a little more voice applied to the argument.
Here's Gregor Blanco. There's that pitch that we were talking about before. That's a belt-high pitch, and it's called the ball.
I mean, that's a strike. But it has not been a strike tonight. And the thing that has impressed me, though, is with the Sean Ryan, he's been consistent with it.
Tomlinson is on deck. We're in the 8th. Out of play. One ball and 1 strike. A nice nifty 11,267 here tonight.
Well, that might be the biggest crowd of the year. But a great crowd. Last night for the Giants, the Cactus League here in Scottsdale.
Runner goes, and it's hit away from the shortstop, Freeman, and that's going to allow Panic to go to third. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it.
Well, the left-handed hitter up. It was the shortstop's job to cover. Should the runner break, Joe Panic breaks. He vacates, and Gregor Blanco finds a hole. So the Giants have it set up here, 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
First at bat for Tomlinson. He came in the 6th inning as a pinch runner. And he takes it low and away. 1 ball and no strikes.
Anthony Bass pitching for the strikeout. Good speed at first. Good speed in the batter's box. 17-game spring training, hit 286. He did not have a good start there for a while. I mean, he couldn't find a base hit.
And Tomlinson showed bunt, which would lead you to believe that maybe he was thinking about a safety squeeze.
You see so many more safety squeezes now than straight squeezes. It just makes sense. If you've got a good bunter up there and you got pretty good speed at third like the Giants have, it's just almost an impossible play to make defensively if the bunt gets laid down properly.
Double play ball. And that'll end the inning. 4-6-3. We'll head to the ninth.
Stratton, who started the ball game tonight for the Giants, had a very solid 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. He gets Chris Bryant in the first inning, then Almora, Quintana in the second, then it absolutely locks up Bryant. Then he gets Baez. He gets Quintana again, and then he winds up striking out Addison Russell for the 7 punch-outs on the night. Good, solid performance for the young right-hander.
So here's Machine on a ground ball to Panic, and Strickland throws one pitch and he gets one out.
Hunter Strickland has had a very solid spring. 2 base runners have gone on board in 4 1/3, 5 strikeouts. What Josh Osich and Hunter Strickland have done this spring is clean it up. Much more consistent with stuff, much more consistent with command. They're set to have good years.
Here's Rademacher. This is the 9th. And a strike at the knees. 97.
Just an easy 97.
Rademacher steps out.
What Hunter Strickland set out to do this offseason was learn more about the slider, get consistent with it, tighten it up. But with John Smoltz, one of the greatest sliders in baseball history. They both shared the same agent. They got together. And it's been a story we've told all spring, but I mean, it's been a consistent effort from Strickland all through spring. Consistent with stuff. Really has a true kill pitch that can strike out righties and lefties. I mean, he's got to be loving what has happened to his slider.
And there's a pop-up foul down the left field line and out of play. It's a ball and a strike.
And what happens when a power arm like Strickland tightens up a slider? Now all of a sudden hitters got to think about that. Usually you get in that batter's box, you're not thinking about anything but number 1 from Strickland. You're thinking about fastballs. Now all of a sudden he gets a slider where he has some creativity with it. He can back off speed. He can throw it over for a strike in a first pitch count when he knows a guy's up there looking for a fastball. Then he can bury him with a quick, tight, well-placed slider out of the strike zone. You have that type of velocity in a fastball, you're going to have that type of velocity in a slider. And 90-mile-an-hour breaking balls, they're not easy.
So Rademacher got a new bat as he steps in and kind of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2. Outfield straightaway. Blanco deep in right field. Navarro is on deck with 1 out. Tap foul.
And there was that breaking ball. Rademacher did well to catch a piece of that one. Good pitch.
Strickland ready. And the 2-2. Here it is. Hit on the ground. Rutledge kicks it around, recovers, got him.
Well, he got a fortunate bounce, and that he can reach out with his bare hand, pick it up. Ball comes up on Rutledge. But plenty of time, so a nice recovery. Right there's the break.
Here's Navarro. And a high breaking ball, 1 ball and no strikes. It's not uncommon in spring training where 9 innings is the limit. Because what teams do is they pretty much calculate ahead of time who's going to pitch, and that's it. So there is ties in baseball. It just happens to be in spring training, and then 1 All-Star game. That's it.
Yeah, well, which we'll never see again.
That's it. 1 All-Star.
But I love that about Bob Brenly, who was the National League manager when that happened. Just a little something that is interesting about his bio. If you go to Wikipedia.
1 and 2. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up, 3-3. Randy Rosario is the new pitcher for the Cubs. Rutledge.
See what Rosario has done this spring. He's had a good camp. Got a little time in last year with Minnesota. Got about 10 days in the big leagues. Hard throwing lefty. Be our chance to see him for the first time. Just 23 years old. Why is that a big deal? Well, this is his 8th year of professional baseball.
And it'll be Gorkys Hernandez who's going to hit first for the Giants. Rutledge will hit second. So here's Gorkys. And he pulled the bat back. And they're going to say it didn't matter. It's no balls and 1 strike.
So Rosario going right at him with a slider. First pitch. That was a good one. He warmed up. He threw 4 pitches. And he comes right back to get another hard slider, and he breaks Hernandez down. If you look at Rosario's numbers in the minor league, he was spent a lot of time as a starter. But I think that the Cubs feel that this guy's best shot at being a big leaguer is going to be out of the bullpen.
That time Gorkys laid off. 1 and 2. Big chopper off the glove of Court into left field.
So a nice at bat. Down the count 0-2. Comes up with a base hit, puts himself into on base here to lead things off at the bottom of the 9th. Well,
you're very generous, I got to tell you.
Ryan Court, he's thinking he should have had that one. And if he's thinking it, Rosario, the pitcher's thinking it too.
So Rutledge hitting for the first time. strike.
Rutledge just had a nice camp.
And he hooks one down the left field line. That's a base hit. Marquis Hernandez puts on the brakes.
Rutledge continues to stay hot.
So here's Sands.
Well, Sands is a power guy. I mean, he's not the kind of guy you're going to put up there to bunt. Let's take a look at the swing of the bat from Rutledge. A little hanger right out over the plate. And he did what you're supposed to do. With hang, you're supposed to bang.
So Jerry Sands can send everybody home. And he takes a strike. And it's 0-1.
One to measure, one to rake.
Hundley on deck.
Would not be the first walk-off hit that he's had this spring.
Both runners advance.
Well, if it's a regular season game, it's probably going to be a ball 4 here. They would put Sands on, but spring training, they just might say, all right, Rosario, you get yourself into this jam. We'll see you pitch yourself out of it. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring the infield in, outfield in.
Jerry Sands is a pretty popular guy.
Kind of remind me of the Barry chant we used to hear on the road.
Absolutely.
Where they would talk about his socks.
Barry Sox.
Barry Sox. Barry Sox. I never understood the deal about the Sox thing. That's some 3-1 paint right there. Total pitcher strike. If you're Sands and you're in a 3-1 count, you're not swinging at this.
Might have been a little bit of a gift. It's 3-2. Look out. Emergency swing. Foul.
You know, one of the stories that's going around baseball is how baseball now is extending the netting down above the dugouts on both sides of the field. And that's something they should have done here a long time ago in this ballpark, because you are close to the action if you're in the stands. That netting has saved a lot of bruises this spring. Well, the conversation should be, look, you got first base open here. Don't throw him anything close. Be selective. It's you're in the driver's seat. You've got the advantage here to throw the locations out. Hope he chases.
I believe I said it's 3-2. It's not. It's 2-2.
The unintentional, intentional walk. Great pitch. That is a great pitch in that 2-2 count. And remember, Jerry Sands had a second strike call, a little wraparound breaking ball in the outside corner. I mean, you got to have some guts to take this. And that's how you utilize an open base in a 2-2 count. And he could throw the same pitch.
pulls it foul.
So he goes back to the slider. And Sands fights it off. Good battle here. Two guys fighting for jobs out there going at each other. This is the essence of spring training right here.
Now it's 3-2. And that's foul.
So he throws another slider, and this time Sands waits for it. I mean, he barrels this thing. He hooks it foul. But watch the back leg. He is timed to it. So if you're Rosario, you see that back leg. If you're Caratini, the catcher, you see the back leg. Not fooled on that pitch.
Yeah, he's going fastball away right here.
I think you're right. If he throws a breaking ball, it'll be in the dirt.
And this one's over. So Sands with the infield drawn in. Pokes one between Freeman and Court. And the Giants win this one in the bottom of the ninth.
Sal Rosario indeed goes back to a breaking ball and a great at bat from Sands. And he'll walk out of here feeling like he belongs here. The mistake on the pitch was it just a little bit too much strike zone. And tip your cap to Jerry Sands, who with an infield drawn in knocks one right through.
So for the most part, 11,267 will go home happy. So the Giants win this one by a final of 4-3. We will have more from Scottsdale Stadium right after this.